contribute to our shared educational mission. We, along with numerous colleagues, have worked to improve our curricula, advance research on inequality and inclusion, and use the school's platform to communicate with leaders who can change the culture of business. This book is our attempt to take what we've learned from this work and provide educators, managers, and anyone who wants to better understand why gender parity remains elusive with a clear view of the structures and mindsets that perpetuate inequities, as well as a guide for dismantling them. We are indebted to the many scholars who have conducted critical and groundbreaking research on gender in organizations and in leadership. Throughout this book, we cite the work of numerous researchers from the fields of organizational behavior, psychology, economics, sociology, and law, including a number of our HBS colleagues as well as some of our own past research. Our aim has been to synthesize the most critical findings and explain what they mean for women's careers in real workplaces and what they suggest about how to effect change. In addition, we conducted a series of new research projects, surveying and interviewing women and men around the world at all career stages and levels of organizational hierarchy, from undergraduates just starting out to seasoned executives serving on corporate boards. Across all these projects, more than 300 people were interviewed. In addition, we collected survey responses from more than 275 women executives. We heard from people on every continent except Antarctica. They were working in sales, marketing, operations, human resources, and other functions across all manner of industries. Most worked in for-profit companies, both privately held and publicly traded, but a sizable minority were employed at nonprofits and academic institutions. They came from all sorts of socioeconomic and cultural backgrounds, and their stories were inspiring and often moving. They confirm much of what we know from academic research about how and why gender disparities persist, but they also offer the texture and vividness of first-person experience, helping us to absorb and more fully understand the effects of the biases and barriers long studied by researchers. Our interviews also shed light on how women have overcome obstacles and how both women and men are trying to take down barriers. Most of the people we spoke to have thought deeply not only about their own careers, but also about how to enable those around them to succeed. Throughout the book, we have included profiles of real women and men. The trailblazers in these stories reflect the transformations in women's opportunities, as well as the ways their potential is still stymied. Moreover, they are a reminder that big changes to society, to business, to major institutions are always the collective work of committed individual actors. We hope that these stories likewise remind listeners that they too have the power to be change agents. The book is organized into two sections, with the first half of the book focused on how, despite decades of corporate initiatives, public policy programs, and grassroots activism, gender-based inequities continue to limit women's careers and maintain the male-dominated status quo in leadership. The second half of the book zeroes in on how to eliminate gender gaps in organizations, with chapters devoted to what men can do to be effective allies, what companies need to do at an organizational level to drive systemic change, and what individual managers should do to promote equity on a day-to-day basis. Chapter 1 focuses on the barriers to advancement that begin early in women's careers and the obstacles to leadership that keep even high-achieving women from the uppermost echelons. We talk to women on the rise, some about to graduate from college, others earning MBAs, and some a handful of years into their post-grad careers. They are already quite accomplished, products of competitive, elite environments where their ambitions were encouraged and their hard work rewarded. Those on the cusp of careers generally believe that the path to success is clear. But women who have been working for just a few years, sometimes as little as 12 months out of college, are already starting to observe an unequal playing field. As they move further into their careers, they are beset by the roadblocks that characterize today's workplace: skepticism about and stigma for working mothers, a lack of role